I hate my last name. My last name is more than something just attached to my first name. My last name is an implication, leading to a subconscious feel of apologetics. Hossein. That's right. That's my last name. And you all know why it's a problem. I dread the professional world when people will address me by that name, because when I hear Hussein on the roll call, I sense a slight hesitation and discomfort with uttering that name. You see, Hussein stems from the Arabic word for handsome and good. But not one person in America hears that when they hear my last name. All they hear is terrorism. All they feel is Islamophobia. All they smell are the ashes of 9/11. All they see is the similarity of my skin color to that of the extremists. All they taste are the hateful words on the tip of their tongue. All they have are their racist opinions. Here's what else you have that I don't. You have a Black Lives Matter movement for your community's horrendous tragedies. I have rallies of people advocating for people that look like me, that were born here, to be removed from this country. Shout out to Trump. You have your senior portrait and articles detailing your plethora of accolades pop up on Google when you look yourself up. I have the ISIS flag pop up when I Google my full name. You have a news coverage that labels every brown guy with a gun as a terrorist. I have a news coverage that labels a white man who executed 3 Muslims down the road from Duke as a troubled man. It's not terrorism when a Muslim American is brutally murdered, now is it? You have BuzzFeed articles where you acknowledge your racial privileges and struggles. I have Secretary Hillary Clinton telling me that I'm supposed to be on the front lines to identify and prevent attacks from Islamic terror groups, as if that's my only reason for being in this country. Do I ask you to stop the KKK? You have shock and sadness every time you see a terrorism attack on the news. I have an all too familiar feeling of dread, of another reason in the books to inflate Islamic bias. And now I'm additionally responsible for upholding a certain good, normal, safe, trustworthy Muslim American standard, and personally filtering out all the bullshit that comes out of your mouth. You have religious group after religious group on campus recruiting you to join their team. I have one group that has to work tirelessly to set a good example for Muslim Americans. You have an entire month dedicated to your religious holiday. I have to get a special permission form signed and explain my religious circumstances during Eid. You grew up with fat jokes. I grew up with terrorist jokes. You could hold up a sign that says, "Honk for Jesus," and have your ears bleed from all the honks. I hold up a sign that says, "Honk for Muslims," and would probably get shot. You hear, "Allahu Akbar," and think of that movie you saw with a guy with long robes shooting up a gas station. I hear Allahu Akbar and think of our beautiful call to prayer. It's the not so microaggressions, y'all. But you know what else I have? I have this brown skin that's thick as fuck. I have a loud voice that can tell you day and night that Islam translates to mean peace and is built on the 5 pillars that include belief, praying 5 times a day, donating to others, fasting, and pilgrimage. That every school of thought has extremists, but only in Islam do the extremists define the group. I can tell you that my ultra-conservative, God-fearing Baptist high school history teacher thought it was okay to make my religious prophet look like a mass murderer, and still justified the necessity of the Crusades. I can tell you that a person's religious beliefs have no correlation to their character. I can tell you that the media portrays Islam as the world's most hated religion. But did you know that it's the world's 2nd largest religion? Did you know that there are stories of prophets like Adam, Noah, and Jesus in my faith in the same context as they are in the Bible? Did you know that at the end of Ramadan last year, there were 4 suicide bombs in Saudi Arabia during the Eid time? A time for joyous celebration marking the end of fasting, essentially analogous to American suicide bombers during Christmas Mass. Where were the profile picture changes for that? How do you all still think that the media is representative of anything accurately depicting Islam. How do you all still think that the Islamic State is representative of Muslims? We people who devote their lives to praying for others, donating to the poor, and practicing simplicity and peace. I can tell you all this, but will you listen? People will say, so, is someone gonna start making you wear a headscarf now? No. But I think I might start wearing one just to hide from your ugly beliefs.
So like, are you related to Saddam Hussein?
Obviously not. Look how cute I am. Although I try to joke to cope, you should know that every racial discomfort obliterates a slice of this thick skin. It's running thin, and I'm running out of ideas on how to educate you racist bitches. I don't speak for myself, I speak for my community, and it's getting harder and harder to be a Muslim in America, a country where I was born and raised. I left a prejudiced region of the country for a reason, and that reason was not to witness continued racism backed by academic intellect. How do you think I felt when a non-Muslim Duke faculty wanted to play the Muslim cult prayer on the chapel steps, and it was shut down in the blink of an eye because Duke was too scared to lose its fancy funding? An attempt at interfaith that ended in additional hate. The social media responses from my fellow Duke students that day were horrifying. And I sure as hell had to hide my Muslim skin that day. I've never looked at my campus the same way again. Regardless of the Muslim American campus advocates, what good are they if the people paying the bills are cowards? Cowards towards a religion that is so similar to theirs in that we unite under God and try to be the best versions of ourselves. People, awareness is all I ask for. This is not the America my parents left for. If one more extreme conservative takes their superiority complex at my mother, flaunting the world awareness after the latest Fox News report and commending her for not being that type of Muslim, I'll fucking show them what this type of Muslim can do because he's unapologetic and unafraid to tell you how much of an idiot you are. I want to be able to shout my religious beliefs at the top of my lungs and not worry about putting my life in danger. But are you going to listen to me?